What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Monday evening, November 18th to all of you. Thank you for watching Sportsbook Review. This is Betting with the Bag. In 9 minutes, we're going to be joined by Maxwell Smart, and we're going to break down each and every single college basketball game on the card. Max has already sent out 5 official plays. So we will start with the game that pops off or is that game going off right now? There's a game popping off shortly. There's one early game on the docket, so we want to make sure that we get to that. That's Charleston, Southern Michigan State. That game will be popping off in 59 minutes. The rest are on starting at 7 p.m. So all is good, and we will hammer them all. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Deer Slayer Ski says, ready for a big Monday night, Jimmy Lowbaggers. We have to get that in the next 9 minutes as well. Lillian Pumpernickel, Minnie Jordan, Brody. Wow, Brody, San Antonio money line big. I'm going to be off that game, but there's the other side of it. Get Harday on Mavs -4, Bucks -7.5, West Virginia -16. Need a dog. Can Kings pull this one off on the road? We're going to talk about that. No request in the house. Fat Fist, Rem Most, Eric Nisbet, John, Joe and Nisi, Deer Slayer Ski, Blah Bear Picks, Flip Money, Bravada in the house. He says, what time will Maxwell Smart be gracing us with his presence? In 8 minutes, Maxwell Smart will be gracing us with his presence. There's James, 2 plays per day. Alex Ramirez, star of the Spidey, play today. Dav Fenn, Brendan Cruz, Topset, Chili Dog Dooley, Sean Mundy, Anna Merrick, Major Tom, AM, Rye Cape, Tomarino, Tomor, I'll get you next week. Corey Mack, Big E, Molly Cruel, JC Alvarez. What a great, great group. All right, let's get right after it. There's Viral Video. There's Spencer Hicks. There's Barry McCockner. Yenny Toon says KC -6, so money moving towards KC early line 4.5. You could get it at 4. There's Nick Allegretti ready to go. Let's get after it right now. So in NHL, I would like to take the under in that Ducks Capitals game, but I am not going to do it. I don't really, 2-game card, I'm not going to force plays. Our record's very good in the NHL, as always, and it's just not enough for me right now. You know, if I had a little bit more faith in Johnny Gibson with the way he's playing, I probably would take this over. It was originally juiced to the under. It's now juiced to the over. I don't want to get fight that market move, and I'm not going to. And then in the Coyotes game, I have interest in the under 5.5. But again, you have to be able to trust both goalies. And with Johnny Quick, the way he's playing in LA, I know Kemper's playing well, so you can take a team total. Deer Slayer Ski says, passing on the night, I'm going to do the exact same. There's Mississippi Kid in the house, Coactus, Canascat. Mark Lathrop, there's Mark Lathrop, great to see him. UC Irvine, team total over 63.5. Mark Lathrop dropping in to give us a team total, UC Irvine, team total. Thank you for dropping by, Mark Lathrop. Nick Allegretti says the only value I see is Capitals -0.5 in the first period. I think that, in all honesty, if I had a free play on the side, I would take the Ducks here. After that losing streak, they go out on the road. They feel better about themselves. They beat the Blues. And do we know if these Capitals are going to take this terrible Duck squad? You know, I don't know. And wow, it's Campbell and Ranta tonight. Well, then I certainly don't want the under. Thank you, Campbell and Ranta. Waiting for Ranta to step up. Campbell at least gives the Kings a better chance. I'm off those 2 games in the NHL. So no moves in the NHL. Lean to both unders. No longer with the goaltending change in the Kings-Coyotes game. There's Jukes in the house. Not applicable. Ready to go. Ron Lofton. So huge move towards the New York Knicks. Huge move. No Kevin Love. No Larry Nance. Nance has been out for a little while. We did not know about Kevin Love. Everybody in the chat jumped on these Knicks first half at -1 or -1.5. You know, now full game, it's gone from 2 to 5.5. You have to think that they'll be. This total got up to 210.5. It's now down to 209.5 with Pinnacle. I have some interest in that. Look at Sean Williams, 12-3, took Brian -1 overnight. However, it's moved too much for me to suggest they will roll, though. There's from our guy Sean Williams, killing it. There's JD Sports 94, liking Mavs first half. Coactus giving a slight edge to the Kings. And good as gold in the house. So I said if there was no Kyrie, I might pull the trigger on the Nets, and I'm not going to. I want them as dogs. I don't want them as favorites, and I'm not going to make a move on them. I like Garrett Temple's defense. And I think Dinwiddie can step up in this situation. But Pacers have won this matchup 10 of the last 11 times. I just don't want to back the Nets on their first game back after a road trip. So I'm not going to make a move on it. Lillian Pumpernickel says, how do you feel about the Blazers Rockets over? I don't know about... I just feel like Westbrook coming back could mess with Harden's flow a little bit. And the Rockets have been playing better defense, and their games have been going under. This total opened up at 231.5, now down to 229.5. I also wanted for sure to know, so I'm on the Hornets +9 at +100. That was from the morning. You can't get that anymore. You can get 8.5s across the board. That makes me feel good. I'm staying off of Blazers Rockets right now. Bucks Bulls. We cashed on the Bulls in this last meeting. The Bucks played so bad and still won by 9. I'm a little uncomfortable. I don't know if we got the last word on Levine. As far as I know, Levine's going to be in the lineup. I am not on him. Nilo says I watch 3 times a day. Like you're my second wife, Nilo. I like the sounds of that. Mississippi Kid on Bucks -4 first half. I could understand that. I do have a vividness bias of the Bulls playing the Bucks hard in first halves last year. That kind of gets in the way of my first halves, but I can understand that. Spurs Mavericks. This has been a fishy line all day. Fishy line all day. It did move to 5 at most books, but you'd think with how bad the Spurs are playing, that this would have already opened at 6, and Mavericks are just 3-3 at home, and Bravada saying that Levine is playing tonight. Levine will be in the line. Torino says Portland has no bench. Houston should cover. Much deeper team. Yes, Houston should cover in that game. At 7.5, they should cover the 7.5. Still, though, I'm hesitant. And then I like the Celtics to come out in the first quarter. I just feel like the Suns have been off for too long. This is their last game of their homestand. They haven't played since Thursday night. They might be a little rough around the edges early, and then I think they take over. I took Celtics first quarter money line, and I took Suns -3.5. Jamal Stone says Rockets first quarter is worth a look. Nilo says Houston at home should win and cover against an inconsistent team. I get it. And then I was going to make a move on the Clippers, but now we don't know about Kawhi Leonard. I was going to fade the Clippers, but we don't know if Kawhi Leonard's going to be in the lineup. I was only going to fade them first quarter and first half if Kawhi was not in the lineup. This is a late game, so I can wait. I'll be on live line tonight, so I'll get the latest information and then know whether to make a move. This was at 10. It's now at 9. It opened at 9.5, and Joe and Nisi there on the Spurs. Corey Mack says, I like Jimmy Bag's morning idea of OKC +9.5, but I was going to do first quarter, first half. But at this point, Kawhi's questionable. Johnny Kicknuts in the house. We're going to talk Monday Night Football right now. So the only addition I'm going to make, and no, Landon Hayes, although, how do you see the Cavs rolling without Kevin Love tonight? The Knicks aren't a good team, so you're getting 5.5 now without Love. Bravada says this is a get-right spot for the Celtics. They're 0-1 on the road trip, which continues to LA. I don't think they are 0-1 on the road trip. I thought they opened with a win in Golden State. Didn't look good, but opened with a win in Golden State. Blood Bear Pick says Cavs, no Love or Nance. I just think they're going to be good early. I think the Suns are a rested team. They've been home for 16 days. It's a 6th game of a homestand. I think the Suns run. Bravada says Suns -3, not loving it. I'm on the Suns -3. I'm on the Celtics first quarter, and then I'm on the money line, and then I'm on the Suns full game. And Cormac says Kawhi didn't know. Yeah, he's questionable right now with that knee injury. As soon as I find out he's in, I will take the Thunder first quarter and first half. But then I'll expect to get over 10.5 full game, but I'm not going to take full game. But I'll expect to get 6 or 6.5 first half and 3 or 3.5 first quarter. That's my plan. In NFL, I took 2 prop bets at $100 a pop. I took the Melvin Gordon props over 16.5 carries, over 74.5 yards at -120. That quickly became over 76.5 yards at -140. And then about 10 minutes after that, it went down 10 cents to -130. But that was within 38 minutes. Let's just go to my book right now and just see what they're hanging that prop at. So that's my only look on this game. I understand the public hammering the Chiefs. I get it. But at this point, you're giving a lot of points to a Chargers team that we know what the Chiefs can't do. They can't stop the run. And I feel like the Chargers can open up opportunities in the running game. That's my whole plan. Now, this blew up in my face last week on the Monday Nighter, but I'm going right back to the well. Total rush yards right now, 76.5 and minus 130. So I beat it by 2 yards. And then player rushing attempts is 16.5. So now over 16.5 attempts is now minus 130, juiced to the over. When I bet it earlier, it was minus 115. The under was minus 125. So it was juiced to the under 16.5 spots. But yeah, so that's my action. My sole action. Chad Costanza's on Melvin Gordon over 77.5 rush yards, cheap for worst rush team league. I agree. I'm taking this spot, and it's my only look on the game. I'm just going to sit back and cheer for Melvin Gordon. Back-to-back big games. He's rolling right now. He wasted the first 5 weeks of the season and, waiting for a new contract. And now he's got to step up. And this is the time of year I expect him to do it. So that's what's up. I am on nothing in NHL. In NBA, I am on the Hornets plus 9. I'm on the Celtics first quarter money line and plus 125. And I'm on the Suns minus 3.5. As soon as Kawhi is announced in the lineup, I will take the Thunder first quarter, first half. If Kawhi is not in the lineup, I will not do that. There's Ronnie Meniketti in the house. Great to see you. Ronnie, all right, the time is now. Time to bring in our NCAA college basketball expert, Maxwell Smart, in the house. I think we can break down each and every one of these games, starting with the ones he's already on. Rafa, can you roll Max's intro, my friend?
It wasn't until 2018 that the diamond in the rough went from hooligan to king of the world.
The guy couldn't play for shit, dog. He was awful. But can he cap? Guess he can.
Maxwell Smart coming off a 7-7 Friday, down 0.52 units, and his overall record is still a thing of beauty. Starting week 3, looking good. Rafa, could you please throw up the overall record? 18.52 units, 12.51 ROI, 24 games over 500. Can you put up his best bet record? If we win 5 of every 9, we're going to be huge. That's what we've done so far. Plus 6.22% ROI. Then, Rafa, can you put up my NCAA record, the games that I have tailed Max on, which included 0-4 last Monday? You take that out, I'm looking very good. I'm 17-14 right now, tailing Max, up 5.39%. ROI. Let's bring him on to the show. Maxwell Smart, happy Monday evening to you, my friend. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Just happy to be on the show with everybody and hoping that I can hopefully deliver a big night.
You know what? I believe you will deliver us a big night. I've locked down your action so far, but I do want to start with this game that pops off in just a little earlier, just so we've locked this game down. I'm moving over to NCAA. I'm going to move over to 5 dimes as my opener. There we go, 5 dimes, and there we have it. So let's just get this Charleston Southern Michigan State game locked and loaded, so we don't need to worry about it because it does pop off earlier. Michigan State opening up at minus 32.5 up to 36.5, 37 in Bovada. This total's gone up 2 points from 140 to 142. Are you making a move on this game?
I made a move on this game. I like the over. I just think that Michigan State is going to outclass this Charleston Southern team. This Charleston Southern team doesn't do a lot of things good from the three-point line. They don't get to the free throw line. They're very dependent on those greasy buckets, as I call them, trailer park boy buckets. And I think that they're relying on that inside perimeter jump shot. They're having trouble adjusting to the new three-point line. They're playing a lot of guys. 37% of their points are coming from the bench. That's pretty high in D1 rankings. And I think that with Michigan State, you get a team that's only giving up 63 points a game. They're hitting 72% of their free throws. They're winning on the glass. They're getting those second chance buckets. They got 3 of their top players are hitting 80% from the free throw line or better. Field goal efficiency is really good with your depth players like Thomas Kither and Henry, both 63 and 83% respectively. And then, of course, you got Tillman averaging 9 rebounds and I think 9 to 11 points. So you got a lot of pieces that are going right now. Obviously, you want to see Rocket Watts get out of his shooting slump, but he's playing good defense. And, of course, you got Cassius Winston. So I think that Michigan State rolls tonight. I think Michigan State gives the Spartan crowd a nice show. And I think that at 142, I think that they can score 100 tonight.
Are you going to make the over in official play?
No, I'm not.
You are not. There you have it. There's that first game. Charleston, Southern Michigan. Questions are rolling in. And I'm copying and pasting them. Gas Station Sue said, I don't usually pick hockey games, but I like the under in Caps Ducks, but I really like Coyotes puck line. What do you think? The Kings are playing pretty well right now after dropping Kovalchuk, and I could understand the Coyotes looking. I almost made the under in the Caps Ducks game a bet. I came very, very close to making that under 6. It's now moved to the over. I understand both looks. They both make sense to me. I wouldn't talk you off either of them. Okay, Max, let's start breaking down the plays that you've already tweeted out. First, we're going to go to the South Dakota under. We're going to break down this South Dakota game. You locked in on this total early. SIU, Edwardsville, South Dakota. It opened up at 144.5. It's now down to 140.5. You got this under at 143.5. Why were you so big in wanting to lock this in?
Well, I create my own lines, and for this game, I had a line that I created. I saw a number that it hit, and that's what I jumped on it for. It did open at 146, so there has been a lot of steam moving this number down from over the last, I would say, 17 or 18 hours. But the reality is, I think that this South Dakota team relies on 3 pieces of offense to score 50-plus points a game for them. I think that that's where you're going to get most of the shots. I think that dictates that we're going to have a little bit of a slower pace. This is going to be a home game for them. I think that they're going to be able to come out, and I think that the defensive numbers that they've already put up are going to be a little obtuse compared to what they do tonight at home. I think that SIU Edwardsville struggles with some of the worst teams in Division I basketball, and I think tonight against a South Dakota team that really is trying to get that engine running, and I think that they've done a decent job so far. I think that they're going to run into a brick wall. They're going to struggle to score 60 points. So I think that with the pace and style of play the South Dakota is going to implement on offense, I think that if you get 75 points from them, you're doing good. So it was an under I had to make, and speaking about that, I'm even more I'm more interested in talking about the side. I think that the first half is going to have a lot of value. By my number, South Dakota has a plus 13 advantage in the first half. So for an official play for the show, I'd like to actually start off with South Dakota first half, please, Jim.
Absolutely. You are already on the under 143, but Max's first addition for an official low bag pick is South Dakota State first half. That opened at -9.5. It's now -8 across the board. -8 at -110 is the best we can give you at Bovada. Let's go South Dakota first half -8 at -110. All right, Max is locked in. The next look that Max wants to break down is this Auburn spot. Colgate, Auburn. Let's go to full game, spreads, and totals. Max already locked in the over 148.5 at -115. Colgate, Auburn, it opened at 149.5 and got up to 150. Max, why you like this over so much? Oh, Max, you're it's all good.
When I saw it drop down to 148.5, it was an instant jump on it. I have this game lined at 153.5, so with that kind of edge, I had to just get on it. I'm a line watcher. I watch screens. I wait for my notifications to come in, and then when I see the edge and I think that that's the best number I'm going to get, I'm going to bet it. That's why I made sure that I posted on Twitter so that anybody that wanted to follow and tail could get on it easily. I think that Auburn shooting 50% from the field is beneficial towards this over. We saw how good they played against Cal Sun at home. You can tell that they're really stepping it up a notch and really playing 40 minutes of high-powered offense. I think that with Samir Dowdy really stepping up in that last game against Northridge, I think that maybe we can see that kind of performance again tonight. This is an Auburn team that's still making 10 3-point shots a game and shooting just under 40%. I think that the free throw line's an issue, but you have to look deeper into the numbers. And they're making about 17 a game. So you want to give me 17 free throw makes at 68%, I'll take that, because you know what? You're scoring with the clock stopped, and that's over better's best friend in scoring at that line. So Colgate, they score 84% from the free throw line. They need to score better than they did against Syracuse, but like I said, it's like a domino effect. Syracuse played Virginia, couldn't score a lick. Played Colgate, figured it out. Colgate couldn't adjust and shoot over the zone. Well, now they get Auburn. Maybe they're going to have a little more success tonight. That's what I'm anticipating. So as long as Colgate hits 10 threes, I think that they're in a good situation. They have to worry about fouls because they are very reliant on their starting five, playing all five guys over 30 minutes a game. But I do think that they're going to be able to have an easier time scoring the ball, moving the ball, and getting the ball inside and out. And that's why I like the over.
Back in the over in the Auburn game. Questions are coming in. I am copying and pasting them, but I also believe that we will get to each and every game on this card. Max is also on the over 148.5 and minus 115. He's on another over deeper into the night. That is this Prairie View A&M California game. Prairie View were able to pick up quick buckets for us last year. This total opened up 140.5. It's now down to 138.5 at a couple books. Max got it at 136.5. I saw it dip at Pinnacle to 136.5 for a few minutes, and once it got down there, Max pounced and hammered it. Max, why are you liking this over in Prairie View A&M California?
This is another just a number grab. I had this game lined at 141.5, and you want to drop it down to 136.5. I'm going to see it. I get a notification, and I go right to my books, and I find that number. So that's what I did in this instance also. Listen, with Matt Bradley, Paris Austin, Kareem South, and Andre Kelly all shooting over 60% from the field, and the pace of offense that they're going at, the tempo, shoot. 136 is a low number. Even if Prairie View struggles to put up 50, I think that we could see California put up close to 95 points tonight. I just think that with the way that this team is playing and adjusting to this new style of offense, I think that the addition of Kareem South has been great. Obviously, the three-point shooting needs to improve, but you still have Matt Bradley. Matt Bradley's shooting 52%, 9 for 17 from the three-point line. I think that this game just screams route for California and offense. This is a Prairie View team that is changing its identity, a lot of new pieces, new faces in there, and I just think that they're going to be outclassed today against this California team. We saw how they played in that second half versus Cal Baptist at home, and it was close in the first half, but then they turned into another gear, and I think that they're going to be able to do that, hopefully wire to wire, and get us over this 136.5.
Let's move on to your next total, and that is going under this total for Fairleigh Dickinson Army. It opened at 138 and got up to 143, and that's when you pounced on the under 142.5 at minus 110. Why are you on the under in this spot?
Well, my issue for FDU is the fact that Xavier Malone-Key has not played this season. He's a key piece of the perimeter shooting, and we've seen so far that there has been some issues doing that. It's been a struggle this year. You know, you had a lot of pieces that you lost last year that were very consistent when it came to the three-point shot. And then to add to the issues, there's major depth problems with this FDU team. So if they get into foul trouble or they get into a run and gun game where there's lots of penetration to the bucket and guys going to the free throw line, there's going to be problems. Obviously, this is a revenge game from last year, and FDU is going to have to shore up their three-point defense because they can't allow Army to make 11 makes like they did last year. They did do a good job of protecting the rim with 9 blocks, but you got to pressure the ball handlers. You got to force turnovers. Tucker Blackwell and Tommy Funk for Army are probably the offensive standout pieces so far this season. Matt Wilson really hasn't had the offensive production. The three-point shot hasn't really been there, and his free throw shooting's just been atrocious. I think he's shooting under 20% from the line. So Army shoots 55% from the line. This is a team that I can't really trust to score the basketball, and I don't think that they're going to have another repeat of their offensive showing from last year. 86 and 91% of the minutes to 3 guys on FDU and Jenkins, Elijah Williams, and Caleb Bishop. I think that they're reliant right now on driving to the bucket and getting to the free throw line. That's a solid way for us to win the game and cover the spread. But I think that Army's going to be the offensively inept team today. And if I've learned anything from watching the Air Force game is that 143 or 142.5 is just too big of a number for these two.
Noli knows agreeing. Noli knows liking that under. Good company there. Speaking of good company, Matt Randall on Middle Tennessee, Lamont Williams on Middle Tennessee, and Maxwell Smart on Middle Tennessee as well. Middle Tennessee Coastal Carolina opening up a -2-point favorites, and they got up to 4-point favorites, and that's when Max pounced on the other side. Middle Tennessee +4 at -105. Why are you backing them?
Yeah, on paper, this is a tougher matchup than people are really giving it credit for. This Coastal Carolina team can score the basketball. They got some great guys in Tyrell, Gums, Frater. They got Keyshawn Bruden, who's really putting in a nice season. They averaged 33 points together. They're good free throw shooters. You have Devontae Jones, who is supposed to be the leader of this team. But this is a team that does work on the offensive rebounding glass. They're +7.5 versus their opponents. They're +8 in turnovers, so they're getting transition buckets, and they're getting stops when they need to. But when I watch this Middle Tennessee State team, they want to run the ball. They want to move fast. This is a team that shoots the 3-ball fantastically. They got a +10% advantage, +17% of the free throw line, which you guys all know that I like, especially when I'm looking to take a dog. You got to be able to make free throws at the end. You got to be able to you got to be able to just make shots, and the easiest shots are sometimes the hardest ones. Defensively is where I think that Middle Tennessee separates itself from Coastal Carolina, whether it be 3-point defense or whether it be perimeter defense. I think with this new line, I think that with their length at the guard position and their closeout abilities, I think that we're going to have a significant advantage from that aspect. It's going to be really about Antonio Green and CJ Jones getting going. These are guys that average 48 to 50% from the 3-point line. You can't go wrong with 2 guys like that. And plus, they're giving you 44 points a game together. So if they can go on the road and they can take care of business, power to them. I got the +4, and I think that we're on the right side in this game.
There you have it. Those are the plays that Max wanted locked in earlier today. South Dakota under 143.5. South Dakota first half -8 is his first edition on this show. Auburn over 148.5 -115. Cal over 136.5 -106. Fairleigh Dickinson under 142.5 -110. Middle Tennessee State +4 -105. Those are the 6 plays that he's on right now. I have been copying, pasting your questions. I'm telling you, we're going to get through each and every game on this card. I love these cards that we can pounce all over. Now, Max, what are the additions that you want to jump on?
Well, I actually just want to start going through the card because I have breakdowns and plays that I think that I need to verbalize out loud.
Definitely.
And then I can give out. So if you don't mind, we can go right to the chat, and I pretty much have breakdowns and notes in a play on everything. It's just a matter of deciding what's going to be official or not.
All right. Well, why don't we just start going through the questions that the chat wants to talk about, and then once we get through there, then we'll go down the list of games that we haven't missed on the Sportsbook Review odds page. All right. The first person to jump in the chat and ask our Maxie a question is Verl Video. Says, can you ask Max about UCLA -12, Southern Utah, UCLA opening up at -10.5. Now there's 12s. There's a 12.5 at 5 times. So a 2-point move at 5 times. This total opened up at 137. You can get it up at 137.5. We're down at 136. Max, Southern Utah, UCLA.
Yeah, so Definitely this is an interesting game. I'm a big fan of the Southern Utah team. I really enjoyed how they played in that double overtime game against Nebraska. Even more enjoyed how they played against BYU on the road. I think that this is a game that on paper they should be able to step into and really put some work in against a UCLA team that is going through a transition with Mick Cronin taking over, really changing the pace and style of this game and how they play. But my issue is, what is Utah? What does Southern Utah do at the 3-point line? Because there isn't anybody doing anything from there. If you can't hit a 3-point shot, you're in trouble. I do like the fact that there are some decent rebounding players on this team. Dwayne Morgan, Harrison Butler for 2, but you're not getting a lot of solid production that I can call solid production out of Dre Marin and Cameron Illusion. I think that these guys, especially at your starting guard spots, are critical when they're playing over 70% of the minutes that you're playing. It's a hard spot for me to get on. I would have to be looking towards UCLA. I'd probably be more interested in playing a first half and seeing how they start and then adjusting live there. But that's as far as I go on that game. I'll actually be talking about it more on the live line, and I'll have an official play there.
I will be right with Max on the live line this evening, and Max was eating last week with live plays, so definitely join us. Questions coming in. Nasty Nate, no, Max is on the over in the Cal game. Not on the side, but on the over 136.5. Okay, next question comes in from Kanaskat. Says, ask Max if he likes the Bryant game going over Sivu play. Looking at a total in Bryant. You've had a great read on Bryant this year. You put money in our pockets with Bryant. Now we're wondering about a total spot. Bryant University, Niagara. And this is a two-pronged question because we also had Take It Easy say, can you answer me about Bryant and Niagara? I got +1 and it's been going the other way, which makes me happy. So Niagara opening as 1-point favorites. Now Bryant 3.5 or 4-point favorites. His total at 146. Now up to 147.5 at some books, 146.5 at others. Could you give us a side and a total perspective on Bryant Niagara?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Bryant, we've seen what they've done. They've been the darling of the mid-major world that Vegas hasn't really adjusted to, but I think that they started to adjust today. This is a team that's going to make 35% of the three-point shots. 11 makes a game. They're plus 5.8 on the offensive rebounding glass. 49% of their shots are coming from long distance, and they're coming from Adam Grant. Adam Grant is their guy. That's their lead dog right there. He's a little guy, but you know what? He can get his shot off. He can get to the bucket, and he does everything that this team needs. My issue is, what do we get from everybody else? It's going to be incredibly important against Niagara's 40% three-point defense for Bryant to be hitting shots and be hitting them from distance. 60% from the free throw line is not going to cut it, but at this number, I don't think that it's going to play that big a part into my capping, into what I bet on this game already. I think that we've really seen Pat Harding emerge with 12.5 rebounds, 7.2 points, and 2 assists a game, but the guy that really has to step up for me is Charles Pride. Sebastian Towns has been nowhere to be seen. Don't know where the hell he is. Don't know when he's coming back. But Charles Pride's shooting 47% from the three-point line, and that's helped alleviate some of the scoring pressure that was put on Grant. Mike Green definitely needs to straighten up. 16 turnovers in the 4 or 5 games that he's played is just unacceptable at the point guard spot. So as far as an over, I'm not really sure about that. I am worried about how Niagara's going to score the basketball, how much balance they're going to have, because let's keep in mind, this is a team that has 6 guys averaging 6 to 12 points per game, shooting 73% from the free throw line, but minus 17 on the glass. So there's a lot of conflicting stats that go into this game, and from what I've watched in Niagara so far this season, this is a team that I cannot trust with my money. So I'm going to make Bryant first half an official play, and as far as the over, I'd be looking the other way at the under, but it's not a play either way.
Bryant first half. Let's lock in Max right now. Bryant first half. We are getting a -2. A -2. Wow. Pinnacle has it at -121. 5 Dimes has it at -110. Bovada's moved that to 2.5. This actually opened at -0.5. But let's lock him in right now. -2, -110, good?
Yes, it is.
All right, Bryant, first half, -2 at -110. That is locked in. All right, the next question, and they're coming in fast and furious right now, is from our pal, good old Johnny Kicknuts. Johnny Kicknuts wants to talk about SMU Evansville. Evansville opening up at -2. Now they're 2.5. This total opened up at 139.5. You can get it at 139 or 140 and anywhere in between. Max, SMU Evansville.
Yeah, so this is a pretty simple game and simple spot for me. It's SMU or pass. Obviously, I know that Kendrick Davis and McNeil are coming back next week, hopefully, for this TCU team. But what I'm seeing from this Evansville team is very nice. It's a darling type situation, but this is a perfect letdown spot. You just beat Kentucky. You just beat them as a huge dog. There's so many eyes on you. And I think that the only way for me to play this game is SMU, or it's just a big pass.
SMU or a big pass. The Bryant University, and Viper agreeing, saying Evansville are frauds. The Bryant University look is getting a lot of love from the chat. I'm thinking about jumping on that spot as well. Could you just quickly break down why you prefer first half over full game in that one?
Well, it's because of the number. Simple as that. I got it early when it moved to -1 overnight because that's what I do. I stay up and I watch the lines. But at this number, I'm taking the ass end if I take it full game. So I like first half. And there's an advantage for Brian in the first half versus them. So if Niagara's going to be in this game, I think that they're going to have to come back in the second half. That's what we saw against Stephen F. Austin.
Viper MB, I do not have any NHL plays on this card right now. Next question coming in from our guy Noel Viscarando. Noel wondering about this Hawaii spot on the board. Hawaii, Illinois. Illinois opening up at -15.5. Now 15.5 and 16s. His total's dropped a couple points from 147 down to 145. I watched Noel ask this question, and then Mark Lathrop, who's in the chat, love having him in the chat, he said he's on Hawaii +16. That's what Noel wants to do. He wants to back Hawaii +16. How would you handle this spot, Hawaii, Illinois?
Yeah, this Hawaii team is an interesting team. I think that they really have to change their stylus of play based on the opponent and based if they're playing on the island or not. I think against this Illinois team, they're going to have to really try and slow the pace down in this game. You really got to rely on Drew Buggs, and Drew Buggs has just been terrible from the three-point line. If Eddie Stansbury isn't going off or Avea isn't going off, they got no three-point shooters because those two guys have combined for 26 makes on their own. I think that there's also issues with Raimo. I don't like him. Every time he goes up to the bucket or he tries to post someone up and then turn on them, he's giving the ball away. I think that he's not trustworthy. I don't like the game that he's playing, and he just plays too much. You know, I understand he's a senior leader. He's playing 81% of the minutes, and I think that he's a hindrance. And I think that against a team like Illinois with their athleticism and, frankly, with their big man in the middle, Kofi Cockburn, I think that they're going to be able to have a little bit of freaking success. I think that at 16, that's a big number, and I don't think that I want to trust Illinois with that type of number because, let's be honest, they're not doing much. They're not doing a lot of things positive with the three-point line either, but they are getting to the free throw line a lot. Andres Feliz is playing fantastic. The guy's shooting 81% from the line, 54% from the field, and I think that this Illinois team is changing the guard. The guard is changing. The guys who have led this team predominantly are giving a little bit of the freaking role to other guys. I think that's good for a team to mature and grow as the season goes. But as far as this game and this number, I had this lined a lot lower, and I think that Hawaii is the play or it's a pass for me. I'm on the under. It's not an official play, but that's as far as I go with this game.
Big E also liking the under in that spot. No official play. Fatfist says Auburn over is at 150 now. What do you think?
Yeah, Listen, a lot of these totals, guys, are finishing 5 points over or 5 points under. I just cashed in Oregon under 138.5 last night at a plus price when it closed at 140. We don't have to worry about these 1 or 2 point moves, in my opinion, if you trust your capping, you trust the line that you've created. I think that when these lines move 5 or 6 points, that's when we have to readjust and rethink our approach. But when we see a line move a point and a half, sometimes that's just the natural progression of the line and people wanting to, bookmakers want to even out the money split. So.
All right, let's keep rolling along. Nut Flush Island saying his props are going to be out soon. Captain 24/7 wondering about prop bets. I took the Melvin Gordon over 16.5 carries and over 74.5 yards. We have a question coming in from Shadow that will be put in line with the other questions. The next question comes from our guy Lamont Williams. Lamont Williams wanting to know about Longwood. He brought up Longwood in the chat. Mark Lathrop said that Mark Lathrop's on Longwood +8, but Lamont Williams wants to take it a step further, Max. Lamont Williams wants the money line on Longwood, 6.5 or 7-point dogs. And if you take them on the money line right now against Northern Illinois, you can get up to 250. 250 at 5 Dimes, 250 at Bovada, 245 at Heritage, 240 at Bet365. The worst you can get them at is 233 at Pinnacle. Lamont wants to take a risk and take this Longwood team on the money line. Can you talk about side and total in this game? All right, we've just lost Max. Okay, going to call him back. Not sure what happened there. James is on Longwood. Cuban Connect says yes, Longwood. And Max is here with us right now. We're good to go. Larry's now in the 1s and 2s. Larry, give me the thumbs up. Max, what do you think about Lamont wanting to back Longwood on the money line? What do you think of a side and total here in in Longwood, Northern Illinois?
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. It's Longwood or pass in this game for me. Longwood's playing a lot of guys. They're playing a lot of different combinations based on what advantages they have on the floor. I think against this Northern Illinois team, you have to cap it like this. If you can shut down Eugene Germain, who else are they going to go to? Who else do they have? The guy's averaging 22.5 points per game for them. You know, he's their whole offense. And I think that with Jalen Wilson, the way that he's playing, Christian Wilson, Shabuti Phillips is finally getting some more minutes. I think that we're going to see this Longwood team really kick it into overdrive. I think that a team that shoots a 3-point bucket like they do, they're bound to get hot. And I think that at this number, I agree with Lamont Williams. I think it's a great play to take a shot with Longwood on the money line. I think on the spread also it's a great spot.
And that was my bad. That was Cuban Connect. Cuban Connect, not Lamont. Cuban Connect saying, what about Longwood money line? Want to jump on it, but need insight. And you're getting the thumbs up from Max, Cuban Connect, to hammer this spot with Longwood. Are you making Longwood plus the points an official play, Max? All right, we're a little problem there again with Max. Okay, we're going to call Max back up again right now. Okay, so we are next spot on that we are going to ask Max about is this from Alex Malbury and others wanting to know about this Northern Colorado West Virginia game. Larry, do I got a thumbs up? Can you let me know? Thumbs up, beautiful. Northern Colorado West Virginia. Total opens up at 144 all the way down to 141 or 140 and a half. West Virginia opening up at minus 15 and a half, now at minus 16. Alex Malbury thinking about backing West Virginia. Would you support his look on West Virginia here against Northern Colorado?
On the Northern Colorado game, I think that it's a spot that it's West Virginia or pass for me. I like the under in the game, but then I saw the line move too much. So I would have taken the under at 143, but I see that it went down to 140 or 141. So it's a no-go for me.
A no-goal for me. Like the vibe that we are getting from You're Not Ugly, Just Poor. Oh, so we have a frozen screen? You're saying we have his audio, but we have a frozen screen. Okay, it's all good. But let's call him back. We don't want him to be frozen right now. Robbie Tagaloa, the Samoan Thunder, leaning to the under in West Virginia, leaning to the under in West Virginia. Let's keep rolling along. The next spot is a game that FAP Win wants to talk about, and that is the UNLV game. UNLV against Abilene Christian. Abilene Christian opening up as 10-point dogs. They're now 10.5-point dogs, and we will be asking Max about that. Larry is working on the calling Max right now, so we will get that information very soon. A lot of people talking about the big Monday nighter, and if I had a free play, and Lamont Williams, I will ask about that. If I had a free play, I would be making a move here on the under. But in saying that, I'm not making a move because I don't trust the Chargers to dictate the pace enough. I am still making Melvin Gordon prop bets because if I was Anthony Lynn, it would be a very simple game plan where I run the ball down the Chiefs' throat. Simply put, you got to keep that clock ticking and you got to keep Mahomes off the field. So I don't trust the Chargers enough to take the under because I don't trust them enough to dictate the pace. But that was how I would hammer it. Raymond Reichard says, so you think I should just let it ride? Cavs +3? Yeah. Sadly, I do, Raymond Reichard. I don't think that you should. I don't think you should put yourself in a spot where you could get hurt. There, I don't think you should put your spot where you could lose both. So, looking like we're having a problem with Max right now. So I'm going to. And Gabriel Hernandez says rain is coming towards Mexico City. I thought it was supposed to be a nice night there. Let me just quickly check that out. Is that facts? Wow. Thank you for letting me know. Mexico City weather here. I thought it was going to be nice. Oh, and still have the frozen screen, I'm guessing. Still have the frozen screen with Max. Wow, rain is coming over there. Scattered thunderstorms by 8. Wow. Robbie Tagaloa saying the under, too. Chargers need to play great defense to keep the game close. And, oh, nice. Okay. I see movement from Max. I can hear Max. So are we good? We are good. Okay, beautiful. Wow, Gabriel Hernandez giving us the insight. Says, I'll take the under 52.5. The rain is coming. Wow.
Can we talk about that West Virginia game again?
Yeah, let's, sure. And Michael B said, Mr. Utah Valley leans worth the +25. I'll ask, Michael. I'll ask. Yeah, did you want to touch on that West Virginia spot? Because next up's the UNLV game.
Yeah, first off, I just want to apologize for the technical issues. That was not intentional and completely embarrassing. But as far as the West Virginia game, the only thing that I was actually looking at was making a play on West Virginia on the first half. I think obviously with their size and their press, with Culver and Oscar Tishbui, I can't pronounce the last name, but I think that both those guys are going to be brutal on the boards, and I think that they're not going to be used to that kind of style of play. Obviously, you want to rely on Bodie Hume, Matt Johnson scoring the basketball, but in this matchup, I think that you probably have the best advantage taking West Virginia in the first half, and it could be a backdoor cover situation for Northern Colorado, playing a different type of defense, contrasting what they played against Texas.
Great stuff. Great stuff, Max. Let's move on to this UNLV spot that the chat is asking about. Fat Win wanting to know about UNLV, wants to get Max's view on this look. Abilene Christian, UNLV 10.5-point favorites. This total open at 133 up to 134. Max, Abilene Christian, UNLV.
Yeah, this is a spot that I'm not really into. I don't have an edge on the side or total. My initial lean would be the UNLV. They are playing a little slower, which is surprising considering that TJ Oxberger, who came over from South Dakota State, played such a fast, fluid offense there. I think that UNLV obviously has to get off to a good start. I think that with Elijah Mitru-Long coming in from Texas, I think that's important to stabilize the offense and run good offense for them. I think that UNLV should be able to cover this spread. It's just not a game that I have a big enough edge that I'm going to put my own money on.
I get it. And questions coming in. The next one is from our guy, your guy, Deer Slayer Ski. Wants to know about Colorado -10. We already know that Mark Lathrop is on the UC Irvine team total over. And Deerslayer Ski wondering if he should get behind Colorado. They opened up at -12. They're now at a -11. BetOnline's brought it down to 10.5, as has UWager. This total's dropped 2 points from 138 to 136. Max, UC Irvine versus 23rd ranked Colorado.
Yeah, I think that Colorado is going to have a problem tonight. I think that they're going to have a stiffer competition than they did against San Diego at home the other night. I think that with this Cal Irvine team, it's pretty much comes down to, do you have your starting backcourt? If you have Worku and Evan Leonard in the game, I think that you have a good shot to score the basketball. Colorado has a lot of weapons. I'll give them that. They got weapons up and down that roster. And as the years have gone, they've had to rely less and less on McKinley Wright with Shane Gatling, Tyler Bay, amongst others. But I do think that this UC Irvine team plays solid enough defense. We saw what they can do on the road in an underdog situation against Boise State in their last game. I think that you want to spot them double digits. I think that they're going to be able to cash for you at above 60% most of the time. And I think that tonight is going to be a situation that I look for the same thing to happen. And I do like Mark Lathrop's look on the team total over, because we have seen Cal Irvine try and score the ball, push the pace a lot more. Colin Welp really knows how to take it to the bucket and get to the free throw line. And I think that they're going to have to do that to stay in this game against Colorado tonight. So UC Irvine full game was a play that I made on the overnight lines, and I think that they take care of business.
Do you want them as an official play?
What can I get right now, though?
+11.
If I can get 11, yeah, I'll take it.
Wow, there we go. Max adding UC Irvine. Mark Lathrop liking the team total over. UC Irvine +11 at -105, +11 at -105. And let me add that to Max's card here quickly. UC Irvine +11 at -105. And I will be tailing. That's the first spot that I will be tailing. That's my first look on this NCAA basketball card. Okay, questions coming in. Roger Gilden wanting to know about this Missouri-Wofford spot. Wofford, this is rotation number 615, 616. Missouri opening up at -12, down to 10 at Pinnacle, 10.5 at other books, 11 at Bovada. What do you think about Wofford, Missouri, Max?
Yeah, this is a Wofford team, obviously, with Storm Murphy and Nathan Hoover. They got to really shoot the ball fantastically. They got to really push the pace and up the tempo. This is a game where I think that they're going to be able to have a willing partner. I think that after the slow-paced game that they played, that Mizzou played against Xavier, I think that they're going to be interested in doing a little bit of run and gun, upping some of those shooting percentages, which have been putrid so far this season. It's going to be critical for Mizzou to start fast. This is a team that has a +10 first half advantage, in my opinion, versus Wofford. I think that when you shoot 75% from the free throw line and you're committing 15 turnovers, I think that actually more suits itself to the over. Because if you commit a turnover and Wofford has an opportunity to get out in transition and score the bucket easily, they're going to do that. And I think that the look that I'm really into is actually the over at 135. Drew Smith running the point guard spot for Mizzou definitely gives them a better opportunity than they have when Javon Pickett's on running the point. But it's really going to be about guys like Mark Smith stepping up with a three-point shot, which frankly him and everybody in the backcourt has been quite terrible from. And I think that's going to be something that has to improve if they want to cover a double-digit spread against Wofford. If you're asking me for a play on the side, I'd be looking at Wofford. I'd be looking at Mizzou first half. But as for the record and show record purposes, I actually would just like to get on the over full game.
And we can give you the over full game. Let's move over to totals right now in the Wofford-Mizzou game, and we are getting a over 130. Can I find you a 135? Yes, I can. 135 at -105 at Heritage. Sound good?
That sounds good.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Another addition for Max, the Missouri over 135. That's available at -105 at Heritage. The next question comes from our guy, OG Lowbagger Shadow wants to know about Presbyterian Notre Dame. He's thinking about making a move on Notre Dame first half -15.5. What do you think of that spot? Should he back Notre Dame first half?
Yeah, I think that Notre Dame definitely is going to have to come out and start fast. With Gibbs and Hubs, you got good free throw shooters. You got guys that can penetrate and get to the bucket. It's going to be about guys like Nate Lazuski coming out of his shooting slump. You know, the 6'10" or so sophomore was actually thought of and thought to be dependent on this year. Robbie Carmody needs to stop fouling people. Notre Dame has the pieces, and Mooney's coming off a fantastic game. He's averaging a double-double on the season. I see Notre Dame taking out taking out the garbage, you know. Presbyterian is not a team that I'm impressed by. They had a nice overtime win against VMI, but don't let that fool you. The game against Clemson was more indicative of what this team is and what we can expect. And you want to give them Notre Dame? Oh, Notre Dame may beat them by 40 tonight. If Purdue can win a game by 43, well, this Notre Dame team, they can definitely win a game by 26 or 27 points. And when it comes to the first half, if you want to take a lot of these big favorites, I think that it's always a solid move to try and double up and get a little greedy, you know? I'm a greedy son of a bitch, and I think that taking that Notre Dame 15.5 first half could be a great look.
Wow, okay, liking it. Shadow, you have the green light to take Notre Dame first half minus 15.5. Max, the next question comes in from our guy Lamont Williams, looking at the over in the Oklahoma game. Let me pop it up here. William and Mary, Oklahoma. There was some talk of people backing William and Mary here in this spot, but Lamont wanting to know about the over. So William and Mary, Oklahoma. This total opened up at 145.5. It's now 146. Oklahoma opens it up as 17-point favorite. It's now down to 15.5 or 16. Max, William and Mary, Oklahoma.
Yeah, William and Mary's a real attractive team to me because you know what? They're doing everything on offense. They're scoring from the perimeter. They're using their size advantage to their advantage. And I think that William and Mary is a team that I'm really interested in tonight. I like the over in the game, Lamont. I think that with a team that shoots 50% from the field, 40% from the three-point line, 71% from the free throw line, and it's committing less than 14 turnovers a game, gives me a good indication that this team, with its size up front, with two close to 7-footers who average 35 points a game combined and close to 20 rebounds, I think we're going to get a good opportunity to get on an over here against a team in Oklahoma who usually we'd be looking to get on unders with. Obviously, with Oklahoma, we need good shooting from Brady Manick and Devion Harmon, who's coming off the bench and playing a little bit of the point guard spot and a little bit of the shooting guard spot. I think he's a great change of pace guy, gets to the bucket, knows how to find his own shot on the floor, and on the William & Mary side, with Thornton Scott and Luke Lowe, you got two guys that are averaging over 50% from the three-point line. You got 17 three-point makes between the two of them. And I think that we're going to see William & Mary really try and push the pace, use their size, get Oklahoma into foul trouble. We could see some free throws. And I think that the slower pace that they play, the more advantageous it becomes for Oklahoma. I'm looking at William & Mary in the first half on the spread. I think that they have close to a 5-point advantage in the first half, and I'm looking to get on that official.
Ooh, look at that. William and Mary first half, I can give you a +9. Pinnacle's moved it down to 8.5. William and Mary first half, let's see what I can give you. A +9. Is there a -105? There's not, but +9 at -110 I can give you.
I'll take that. If Pinnacle's hanging a worse number, you can never do wrong when you take a better number than Pinnacle's hanging.
William and Mary first half +9 at -110. That will be the second play that I will be tailing Max. I'm on UC Irvine full game +11 -105, and I'm on William and Mary first half +9 at -110. I'm very, very interested to see what my record is capping the capper and looking at, leaning on your action and picking my spots. I'm very excited to see how I handle things. Okay, so there are the questions from the chat. I believe we got to each one. Actually, no, we didn't. Michael B. and Brent Woodman. My apologies. Michael B. wanting to know about this Utah Valley spot. We did, I believe we touched on, let me grab it here. Utah Valley, Kentucky. We did not talk about this game. Utah Valley here going up against Kentucky. Full game spreads and totals right here at sportsreview.com, the SBR odds page. Utah Valley. Kentucky opening up at minus 24.5. They're now 25 or 25.5 at 26 at Bovada. Does the dog have any value here, Max?
I think that the dog always has value when we get into this point range, but you got to look into the team that they're playing. First off, we're giving a lot of credit to Utah Valley for beating UAB, but I believe that UAB had dismissed Zach Bryant from the team before that game. So, simple as that. I think that you got to go with Kentucky in this rebound spot. It's not a bet that I'm going to be making because I'm not interested in this type of situation. There's a lot of pressure on Kentucky to score the basketball. They don't have the front court down low defensive presence that we're used to seeing them having with EJ Montgomery out until late November early December. I think that with Nate Sestina, he's a great addition offensively, but he's not going to give you the size and defensive attitude that you really need. He can get on the glass and get you 10 rebounds, but offensively, we need a lot more from him. I'm not really impressed with Brooks or Whitney right now. Obviously, Maxey, this is his team, and the point guard play is just inconsistent. I think that John Cal definitely gives Higgins and Quickly a kick in the ass, but I don't think that it's something that gives me enough confidence to put my money on. So I'm staying off this game completely.
Brent Woodman wondering about the Cal Irvine spot where against Colorado, whether making a move on the under. It opened at 138. It's now down to 136 or even 135.5. What do you think of the under in that game?
Yeah, based on the line movement and based on my numbers, that's where I was looking to get on. But there's just something about these two teams and the way that Irvine is really changing their pace based on the opponent, based on position in the game. When they're down, they're not taking it slow. They're launching up threes. They're trying to get second chance opportunities. They're using more aggressive defensive stances. And I think that can turn into points. So this is a game where I'll be watching the first 4 minutes. If I can bet it live, I'll be hitting the under. I just have to see how these guys match up in the early part of the game against each other.
All right, I'm copying. So we have more questions coming in, Max, and some new games that we haven't talked about. James says, is Belmont a free square? High Point is awful. High Point, Belmont opening up at minus 23.5. It's now at 26 at some books. And this total, which is down at 143.5 at Pinnacle, is all the way up to 145.5 at Bookmaker. Max, is Belmont going to smash High Point tonight? And if so, will they cover this big number?
Well, Belmont's, you have to take into consideration what Belmont does on offense. 76% from the line, 42% from the three-point line, 50% field goal percentage. And let's talk about him. Adam Kunkel, he's emerged. The guy literally has more three-point makes than he has field goal makes. This is a guy that's absolutely explosive, averaging 25 points per game, coming off a 35-point game. I think that it also speaks to how great Casey Alexander is at keeping everything the same with this Belmont team from Rick Bird's team last year. Same system, same kind of pace, same kind of offensive philosophy. And we're seeing guys like Grayson Murphy, Nick Hopkins, and Tyler Scanlon, the Boston University transfer, really adjust nicely to this team. I think that they're going to be dependent on their score, which is normal for a Belmont team. And then everybody else gets some after, This is a team that I think tonight has value on the spread. They have value on the over. They have value on their team total over. I don't see them not eclipsing 90 points. I see them scoring 100. If we need High Point to score, we need them to score around 50 if you want to bet on the over. This is a team that doesn't shoot well from the three-point range. They don't shoot well from the field. 350th in the nation from the field, 293rd from the three-point line. Curtis Holland's the only guy that I have confidence in scoring buckets, and he has to do that from the perimeter and from the free throw line. He doesn't have a good three-point shot. He doesn't really take three-point shots. John Michael Wright's the only other double-digit scorer for them. Doesn't give me a lot of confidence, but it definitely gives me confidence that Belmont's going to wipe the floor with them. First half full game, and the over will most likely hit, in my opinion.
Are any of those plays going to be official?
The over, full game, please.
Full game over right now. Let's grab it for Max. While I'm line shopping for you, Newfie Roman in the house. UTSA versus Utah State. Utah State, big favorites here. And let me just get to where they are. Actually, I'm not going to move over there, but can you start breaking it down? Around 19.5 for 20, Utah State favor that. And Newfie Roman wondering if Utah State will get the job done.
Yeah, this is a tough spot, obviously. UTSA has been a big disappointment. ATS, win-loss, and for your bankroll. Javon Jackson and Keaton Wallace obviously are the only offensive pieces for that team, and if you can stop them, which Utah State has the perimeter defense to do so, I think that you can really put a freaking beating on this UTSA team. If I'm going to be looking to make a play, which I have not, I'd be looking towards the under, because at 152, I don't expect UTSA to be able to score the basketball consistently against Utah State's perimeter defense on the road. The play that I'd more be interested in, and I will be looking after the show to bet on, would be Utah State's team total over. One thing that I've been doing and I've been betting on, every time UTSA is on the road, I have been taking the team total over for the other team that they're playing.
Interesting. Great breakdown. Fap Win wanting to know about this Pitt Monmouth spot. Is this an easy cover? He says for Pitt in this spot. Let me pull it up right now. Pitt opening up at minus 15.5. That's where they stand right now. A few 16s on the board. Is this an easy cover for Pitt?
Yeah, on paper, they're very advantageous through the stats. You have to look at that situationally. Also, I think that Pitt definitely has an advantage. Plus 9% on the field goal D, plus 5% on the three-point D, plus 20 points per allowed a game. And the issue for me is Xavier Johnson's been struggling. He's in a shooting slump. He's been turning the ball over, 16 turnovers so far this season in only a handful of games. Ryan Murphy has really emerged from the three-point line and from the free throw line, averaging 15.5 points per game. But it's just going to be a matter, are you going to get a solid offensive performance from Trey McGowan? If Trey McGowan comes to play, then you're going to rout, and Pittsburgh's going to win this game easily. I'm not really impressed with Monmouth. Monmouth wants to get into a slow-down game. Situationally, you would expect them to have a better defensive and offensive performance than they did against Kansas based on the level of competition and strength of schedule. But I just don't see any spot in this game that I really like. If I were to make a suggestion, I would say to take Pitt on the first half for a half unit and then see how it goes and then play it live in the second half for a full one if you get a good feel for it. And otherwise, I know that my main man, Noli knows the Master Jedi of Unders is on the under in this game, and I would take a look over in that direction.
All right, Max, we've gone through the questions. Knasket, I'm going to get to yours next, but we've gone through the questions, so let's just do quick hitters and see if we can touch on the games that we haven't touched on. Just real quick little hitters. First one, App State, UNC Greensboro. You've had a great read on Greensboro. They're 9.5-point favorites. They've stuck there all day, and this total opening up at 130.5 is now at 131 at some books, 130 at others. App State, UNC Greensboro.
Yeah, it's pretty simple for me. If you can keep Justin Forrest off the three-point line and off the free throw line, you can cover this spread. You just suffered a really embarrassing loss, a buzzer beater by Montana State at home. Tonight's a home game for UNC Greensboro. I think they right the ship. I think that they smack App State in the mouth. I think that Isaiah Miller comes. I think Caleb Hunter comes. And I think that James Dickey stays on the floor enough to provide the defensive rim protection that they need so that it isn't a close game at the end like against Montana State. So I'm on UNC Greensboro. I got them at -9. I think that they win this game by double digits.
Do you want it as an official play?
Let's do it. Yes, sir.
-9.5 is the spot on UNC Greensboro. And there's no 9s available, but we can give you 9.5 at -105. So I'm going to do that right now. Oh, by the way, I got you a nice spot on Belmont. I got you over 143.5, cost -112. But I thought it was, by far the best number, so I gave it to you. I thought you would agree with that. And then I'm giving you UNC Greensboro -9.5 at -105. -9.5 at -105. Okay, that's exciting, and I might jump on that with you. Next quick hit. We got a couple quick hits here. USC Upstate, Akron. Akron opening up at -20.5, now -19.5. Do you see an angle here?
Nope, complete pass.
A complete pass in this USC Upstate against Akron. Hartford, Oakland. Oakland opening up at -10 now. 9s across the board. This total opened low at 131.5 is all the way down to 128.5 or 128. Max, Hartford, Oakland.
Yeah, both these teams average about 19 seconds per possession. So if you're looking for an under, this is definitely a game that I would definitely look for. We've seen both these teams play to unders in every game so far this season, and I think that it continues tonight. I'm just not sold on the offensive firepower of Hartford right now. They got to protect the offensive glass. They got to have balanced shot attempts, and they do have a 3-point advantage because what we've seen from Oakland so far in this early season is Xavier Hill-Mays is not the same player that he was last year without having Cumberland feeding him the ball. I think that there is major problems in the backcourt with Kevin Kangu and Trey Maddox Jr. because you're just not getting the type of production that you need and expect from a Coach Campy team. And I think that tonight, it's a home opener for the season. I think that they do come out, but I just don't think that stylistically and personnel-wise, it suits them to play a fast-paced offensive style game. I think that Hartford will be completely willing to play a rock fight, and I think that Hartford will be able to cover the 9 points, even though it's Oakland's home opener. But it's not a play that I'm looking to get on for the show record purposes.
Won't be adding that for show record purposes. You've had a nice read on both LIU and Delaware State. They're meeting tonight. LIU opening up at -12, now -11 across the board. This total opening up at 145.5, now up to 149.5. Max, LIU, Delaware State.
Yeah, so with this Delaware State team, I've watched a bunch of their games, and I've got a good read and feel for what they're doing personnel and stylistic-wise. They want to move the ball. They want to go up-tempo. Pinky Wiley's running the point, and John Crosby and John Stansberry have really emerged as offensive catalyst. John Crosby's leading the team with 16 points per game. They definitely have a size advantage at the guard position over LIU at the 2-3 spots, but for this game, it's very simple. If you keep Raekwon Clark on the floor with his 23 points per game, and Ty Flowers isn't going 1 for 11 from the 3-point range with his 15 and 13 that he averages, I think that we're going to have a lot of success taking LIU tonight. I think LIU covers this game. I think that they beat Delaware State up. This is one of the worst teams in the nation. This has 3 key guys on this Delaware State team that average 3+ turnovers a game, and that's not going to get you to cover any numbers. So it's inconsistent free throw shooting. This is an inconsistent offensive team. I do think that they're able to put up some points against LIU, who's going to want to run in transition, take the ball off the glass, and then keep on moving down. But it's simple. LIU or pass. LIU first half, LIU full game. No big size advantage to slow them down. Must avoid foul trouble. Bang on the glass. Run, drive, penetrate. That's a simple formula for LIU tonight, and I think that they do it against Delaware State.
Only 2 games left on the card that we haven't hit. First one, Stetson, Ohio State. Ohio State opening up at -30.5, now 31s across the board. Stetson total at 131, now 127, 128 in that range. Stetson, Ohio State, you see an angle here?
Not on the side. I was looking towards the under, but the edge wasn't big enough, and then with it moving down to 127.5, it actually brought me off of it.
NC asking what the play of the day is. We're going to get to that very, very soon. But up next, the last game that we haven't broken down, that being Air Force TCU. TCU opening up at -15, now -16.5. This total opening up at 141, now 141.5 across the board. Max, Air Force TCU.
Yeah, I just think that this is a game where I think that this could go over. I think that Air Force obviously we're used to them playing a little bit of slower pace, a little more methodical, using Ryan Swan and Scotty Lavelle Scotty, as their key offensive catalyst. But I do think that there is some offensive shooting with Jans and AJ Walker. So I do think that they do score a couple more points against this TCU team. And I think that TCU obliges to the style of play. I think that we have seen them be a little more offensively pleasing. And I think that tonight we see the same thing. So I look for the game to go over. I'm not looking to make a play on the side. I'm not going to take TCU at that number. The line that I created was just around that, and I do not have a 2.5 point edge, and that's the minimum to get me on a play.
Makes sense. There you have it. Max has broken down each and every game on the card. Well done. What is, everyone asking in the chat, we've come to the time, what is your play of the day?
Well, I've been mulling over two of them, and I'm obviously going to have to decide because we're here, and I have no choice. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Longwood first half, money line.
Longwood
and
first.
I'm going to ask for you to give me a price.
Wow, that's a ballsy play of the day. Longwood first half money line. Let's see what we have available. Wow, ballsy. Let's get it right now. The Longwood first half. Why am I having trouble finding it right now? Jesus. Show your face. There we go. First half money line. Wow, it's all over the map. Plus 163 at Pinnacle, but it's all the way up to 205 at 5 dimes, 200 at Bet365. I can give you Longwood first half at plus 205.
Yep, let's do it, Jim.
Longwood money line plus 205 is the play of the day. Wow. I want to just quickly see what we get on the spread here. First half with Longwood. First half, Longwood. And Max with the big balls. But I can get plus 4 first half, and I'm going to take it. I'm not going to strictly tail the money line first half on Longwood play of the day. I'm going to do a Longwood plus 4. And at Longwood first half plus 4, I am getting, what the hell's wrong with me? Why do I keep losing it? Here we go. I'm getting minus 105. That's available to almost all the books. Plus 4, minus 105. And that will be my third look on this card. UC Irvine plus 11, minus 105. William & Mary first half plus 9, minus 110. And Longwood first half plus 4 at minus 105. Max's plays all round. South Dakota under 143.5 minus 110. South Dakota first half minus 8 minus 110. Auburn over 148.5 minus 115. Cal over 136.5 minus 106. FDU under 142.5 minus 110. Middle Tennessee State plus 4 minus 105. Bryant first half minus 2 minus 110. UC Irvine plus 11 minus 105. That's the one I tailed. Missouri over 135 minus 105. William & Mary first half plus 9 minus 110. I tailed. Belmont over 143.5 at minus 112. UNC Greensboro minus 9.5 minus 105. And the play of the day is a big ballsy play. Longwood money line. There you have it. Great job, Max. Incredible work. Max, while I have you here, I've made one more decision. And
I have also made one more decision.
Okay, sweet.
I want to tail you on your Longwood first half spread bet also. So put that on my official record too.
I will do that right now. Longwood plus 4. Let's grab it. And are you second guessing whether the play of the day should have been the plus 4, or do you like the going out with a big balls action for your play of the day?
I like it. I was debating whether or not to take Middle Tennessee first half money line or Longwood first half money line. They're both bets on my account, so it's just a matter of me going, which apple do I want to give the crew?
I love it. Okay, I've got my 3 plays. So then my addition to Zentor asking what was the other game Max was considering, and Max just answered that question. All right, I am making an addition. For better or for worse, we shall see. I am taking the under in the Monday Nighter tonight. Chiefs under 53 at minus 105. Under 53 at minus 105. I'm already on the 2 props. Melvin Gordon over 16.5 carries and over 74.5 yards. I am now on the under. Ooh, man. All right. Made the move on the under. Max, incredible job. If you want more Max action, come here tomorrow night. He's on every late show here at Betting with the Bag, breaking down the entire NCAA card or as many games as we can get to. Max, I got to go make some bets. And Mohammed Joma says, take that under. I did, Mohammed. Max, my man, could you please introduce Freddie Fortune?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I got my Popeyes chicken tenders, and you know what? I'm going to eat them after I introduce to you guys a friend of mine, a friend of yours, a friend of the show. His name's Freddie. His last name's Fortune, and he's coming to you right now.
Freddie, what up? Welcome. We got to move quickly. I've got a couple college basketball bets I got to make, and I only have 11 minutes.
Okay.
And we have live line tonight that I have to run over to Flash's house where I get to work with Maxwell Smart. So,
I miss Flash.
Freddie, great news. You hit your futsal parlay.
Yeah, plus 157. Hell yeah!
Yeah, nice work. You do seem better. It was all that sheepdagging?
No,
no.
my weekend fucking sucked.
Okay. Well, let's not get into it. Let's get into the positive. You hit with a futsal parlay. Are you going right back to futsal?
No.
What do you
I
do?
mean, I was capping some Vietnamese futsal, but
As
I
you
didn't
should.
like it as much.
No?
So I went to the
The
European...
Vietnamese or the Vietnamese futsal?
The Vietnamese futsal. My mother is Vietnamese.
I don't believe you.
Okay, I don't care. So I'm on the European Curling Championship.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Where is this taking place?
In Europe.
Well, okay. I'm going to leave.
Yeah, thank you, Larry.
I'm going to go.
You're
I'm
the
gonna
best.
I'm going to leave.
No, don't leave.
Okay, quickly. What's your... I got to go. I got to make
Okay,
bets.
I'm going with Switzerland minus 1.5 at plus 100 over Norway at bet 365. Both of them are very strong teams,
They are.
especially Switzerland, but you don't know nothing about curling. So
What do you
shut
mean?
up.
I'm from Canada.
Oh, that means you know about maple leaves and...
And curling.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
What the fuck?
They say Canadians are nice. You're not nice.
What the fuck do I care what you think?
So why do you care about me and my place?
Just because I give the fans what they want.
They don't want me.
But it puts a smile on your face coming onto the show.
Yeah, it keeps me from... That's my friend clapping in the...
Yeah, Larry being
Cabin.
off of the H for a little while. Okay, I gotta go. I gotta make moves.
Okay.
So you're on the Swiss. Can you give
Minus 1.5.
minus 1.5 at plus 100 against the mighty Norwegians, the Vikings?
Yeah, there's another play that I had, but it's like a...
Well, I'll remember to ask you about it another time.
It's Sweden minus 3.5, minus 175.
Minus 175.
Yeah, that's why I didn't give it out.
Yeah, why would you? It's a lot of juice. Okay, I've got to bounce. Live line tonight. Oh, God. I'll slap
Sorry.
you in the face.
I'm sorry,
I'll
Jimmy.
open hand slap you in the face.
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's good. That's good. But don't hurt yourself. Could you please give us a leche? I got to bounce. A big leche, a fiery leche.
My stomach is killing me.
Perfect.
but-
This is perfect.
You know that an
Could-
iguana shat on my car
I
today?
did. I heard it, and that's a true story. An iguana
We should show the
shat
picture.
on his car today.
Leche!